Okay, so what do you wish every single real estate professional that you have come into contact with knew about your career or your business? Like, what's that one thing that doesn't seem to be common knowledge in the real estate community, but you wish they knew about the legal community?
There's a lot going on. I mean, I think there's a lot more going on than a lot of people see from our end, especially when you're driving in a lot of lead flow. And I've seen that happen in the last 6 months. You're not just managing what the client's doing, you're having to get with the staff, you're having to send paperwork in, you're going back and forth. Maybe there's something that a judge wants a hearing on. Now you got to get that set and find out what's going on, confer with counsel if there is a counsel on the other side, and also the amount of emails that we get. It's just there's a lot more that happens on our end than probably a lot of people see. And it takes time, right? It takes a lot of time, energy, and effort that we put into it. But we get back to people as fast as we can because of all the lead flow that comes in. So there's a lot of stuff.
You mean a day in your life doesn't look like Harvey Specter's?
It's a lot of stuff going on. Oh, and by the way, Chad, also we have to try to make sure we get the invoices out, right? So all of our work, yay, that's great and everything. We got to send the invoices out and actually get paid on them as well. So that's another challenge. I don't want to get into that right now.
Right. John, what do you wish every real estate agent, investor, professional knew about your career and think many do right now?
Honestly, the number one thing I'd love to convey to all the realtors I work with is just kind of our ethical duty to our clients, the confidentiality, the way that we are held by the state bar to interact with our clients. Just like a realtor, we are fiduciaries to our clients, but it goes a little bit beyond that between attorney-client privilege, duty of loyalty, duty of confidentiality, the requirements that our boss, the state bar of Florida or California, that they impose on us and the way that we are and are not allowed to share information on our clients isn't personal, right? So if a realtor asks me a bunch of stuff about a client and I'm tight-lipped about it, it's not an offense to them. I have my duties, my obligations, and I can't be flapping my gums about my client's personal stuff. If they're not permitting me to do that, then that's just part of the process that we have our boss and we have to keep our nose clean with the state bar. Otherwise we're out of a job. It doesn't happen often with realtors, but every blue moon, it'll happen with a financial advisor. Will refer us a client and then the client walks in our office, signs the fee agreement, sits down like, I hate my financial advisor. He sucks. And then he's trying to fire the guy and it looks like I'm the one doing it. And of course I can't say anything. I can't tell the financial advisor, hey, your client doesn't like you and doesn't really think that your products are worth their time. They kind of feel obligated because you guys went to high school together. I can't say any of that. So I have to sit there tight lip and I look like I'm the jerk firing the guy when all I have to do is just remain quiet, right? I have to keep my clients confidential information. It doesn't happen all the time, but things like that are, it's a little bit non-obvious for non-attorneys, right? It doesn't necessarily make sense if you don't practice in this space, but we have to keep our clients, what they share with us, confidential at all times. And unfortunately, every now and then it boomerangs and somebody sent me business and I can't really pick up the phone and be like, hey man, you need to talk to your client. He thinks you're doing X, Y, and Z. I can't even do that. All I can do is encourage the client to speak frankly with their realtor, with their financial advisor, their CPA, the professional they're having an issue with. And I tell the client, you need to talk to them. But every now and then they'll just be like, no, I don't want to. And that's basically the end of the conversation. But it is unfortunate when this is a referral source to us and it looks like we're the ones driving their clients away. And that simply is never the case. That's not how we operate.
Silvana, what do you wish every real estate professional knew about your career or business?
Just reasonable expectations. I wish that they came in knowing that we can't get a court order authorizing the sale of real property overnight. I mean, that's where I think probate mastery comes into play. Just having reasonable expectations, having knowledge towards the probate process. I don't expect anyone to be an expert, but just to understand that there are certain guidelines and procedures we have to go through to be able to achieve every client's goals, to be able to sell property and just to like marshal the state assets as well.
I want to underscore something you said. A lot of real estate professionals are intimidated by attorneys because they don't understand the law as well as you do. And I've coached that's an unreasonable fear for years. And you hear it here, guys. Like, you don't have to be a probate attorney, but you do need to understand where they're coming from so you can be respected by them. They don't expect you to know the law, but to the letter. That's their job. Your job is to be a great service professional, to be patient, to act as a fiduciary, to respect their role as a fiduciary. If you could custom design, this is like, let's say SimCity Law Edition. If you could design a custom real estate professional to help you scale your law firm and make things run smoothly, give the highest level of client service with the highest level of confidentiality and integrity, like what are the characteristics that are most important to you if you could like literally design your own key real estate partner for your firm?
So something that's been happening a lot lately is we'll get a lead, whether it's somebody that is referring us a probate, or maybe it's somebody that's dealing with a piece of real estate and they want to refer it over. We get the consult, but then we have no documents. So what would be really helpful is and I've been talking about this more, is somebody that can get us, or at least the basic documents, so we can get a proper evaluation of what's happening. So we're all not spending so much time going back and forth with multiple consults, like getting the will, getting all the death certificates, getting the documents, knowing what's happening. That actually builds efficiency in my business, helps everybody up front. So that sets the expectations up front. So that's the mold, is trying to find that one that can get everything they can, so then we can evaluate the case. That's huge on my side right now. Huge.
You're going to love earned graduates, Al, by the way.
Cool.
John, what would be the perfect real estate professional be if you could design them? What traits and characteristics?
Yeah, I really like what Al shared. That's huge as well. Other professionals in any industry, real estate is one of them, that don't waste your time, right? For me, the most important thing, and this cuts across financial advisors, CPAs, realtors, the entire business profession. The most important thing to me is that they are somebody who puts the client first over their own needs, over their own sales. Unfortunately, I usually run into this more, sometimes life insurance or financial planning. Every blue moon, I'll run into someone who's commission oriented, and you can tell that they're not committed to doing the right thing for the client. And I will cut them out of my life so fast, your head will spin. It doesn't happen a lot, right? I surround myself with good people, with people who share that obligation. And I've said that to Chad from the beginning. The entire reason that I reached out to Chad in the very beginning, several years ago, to get started, is I knew that Chad was committed to training people to do the right thing, that he was committed to training realtors and investors to see the needs of the client, put the needs of the client first above themselves, and they get paid just fine on the back end. That's the only way I can operate as an attorney. That's the only way I operate. I'm a licensed realtor myself with Keller Williams. So number one is that ethical obligation and duty of loyalty to the client at the most important part. Two, I said this before to Chad when we did our very first video, someone who's a Swiss Army knife who solves problems for me. We had one realtor, this going back again to the early part of the crash, 2007, and we had a deal go sideways in the last week that we're closing probate. And if we didn't get the house sold on Monday, I couldn't close the probate and pay everybody on Friday. The deal blew apart on Monday. The realtor came up with an all cash offer by Wednesday, and the deal closed on Thursday. Everyone got paid Friday. Right. So in 4 days, he put together a buyer at about $800,000. It wasn't just some property. There's a lot of money involved. So that realtor had my business for a long period of time. As somebody who's a Swiss Army knife, somebody who solved my problems, who solved the client's problems, who is a jack of all trades and got things done. That's what we want. No drama. We want people who get stuff, deals across the finish line with the least amount of hassle. That's what I'm looking for.
Awesome. Silvana, how would you design your perfect real estate professional?
I agree with both of these gentlemen. I mean, I think that in this field, you have to have a heart, first of all. Many of these people in probate are going through very difficult situations, and a realtor was just out for the deal, or just this is just a transaction, and not really someone I would want to work with, because these are families going through difficult times. And second, I think it's so important just to be prepared. Like, you call my office and you don't know half of the story, or you haven't even checked on the property appraisers to see what's going on with title, then that makes my life more difficult, and I have to send my office on a scavenger hunt for everything. So if someone's prepared and someone's just like diligent and is great with communication and everything, that to me is perfect.
Yeah. So, I mean, you guys, that's the common threads in there were a standard of professionalism that is similar to your own, respect for your time and anything they can do to add value in other ways, even if it's helping you compile documents on the front end, cutting down on consultations, like less phone calls and less emails is more. So, all right. Thank you guys for that.